Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 13 of What If Naruto Was a Godly Mage. Remember to hit this one to 200 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Disowned by Everyone, and go ahead and enjoy that guys. And also, stay in tune for a new episode of What If Naruto Became the God of Win on this channel, and I do hope that you guys enjoy. And also guys, I'm gonna be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Was a OP Seal Master over on Anime King 2. So stay in tune for that as well guys, and I do hope that you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, Naruto almost killed Mage if he wasn't stopped by the Onrus and the Hokage had set up, just in case something like this happened, as they restrained Naruto and hold him back. As Naruto saw Hinata, he quickly enveloped his body in flames and rushed towards her, breaking out of the bonds. As he saw her passed out, she was quickly taken away as he wanted to go with her, but Kurenai told him to stay, as Hinata would feel bad if it was her fault that he missed the exam. As he nodded, as she told him that she would tell him as soon as Hinata wakes up, and what happened. As Sarutobi and Anko spoke to Naruto, as he apologized and he told him that he just lost it, but Anko was starting to worry now, knowing that he was responsible for that thing that was coming out of the vortex trying to enter Konoha, as it made her start to sweat, as Sarutobi was also worrying as well, thinking about the village safety. So with that, Naruto made his way back up. As he walked by Gaara, Gaara was looking at him, but Naruto turned towards him. Even Shikaku inside of Gaara felt a presence that he did not understand what it was. As Temari saw Gaara shaking in fear, as Kankuro and Baki were surprised as hell as well, seeing Gaara shaking like this. As Naruto stopped right in front of Neji, but Kakashi came there to escort Naruto back. But Naruto apologized to Tenten and she did not understand why he apologized. As he then turned towards Neji and told him that he was going to kill him. Without saying anything else, he left. As the rest of the matches went on, as Naruto was called, Naruto made his way down there as Zaku was making fun and said that Hinata is weak and she should probably die. That was the wrong thing for him to say as Naruto snapped. Yamato and the Kyuubi tried to calm him down, but it wasn't taken. As Naruto appeared in his mindscape, but it wasn't him exactly. His eyes were completely dark and his face had a sick twisted smile on it, as he forced the both of them down to the ground. Outside in the real world, as Zaku felt fear, as Naruto started to just toy with him like a prey. Before hitting him so hard, Zaku felt like his body was broken. But he wanted Naruto to spare him, as he was begging for his life, not remembering that he wasn't a match as he even saw it himself. As Hayate made his way down there, but the moment he did, blood splashed all across his face, as Naruto shoved his hand right through Zaku's back, ripping out his heart, and squashed it, as everyone was surprised to what they saw, the gruesome scene. Naruto dropped his body without saying anything, as Hayate had announced Naruto the winner of the match, saying that killing was allowed, as Sarutobi and Anko had a terrified look on their face because they saw Naruto easily getting darker and darker. He then skipped to somewhere out of the elemental nations. Two persons were talking, as one of them were planning to go where Naruto was, because they found out where he was and that he's alive. As a person desperately wanted to go there, but the other one told them that they will have to wait. But the other one wanted to go there as quick as possible, as the person wanted to speak to Naruto, Tell him what he really is. We then skip back to the Elemental Nations as the finals were Shikamaru versus Temari. The next match was Kankuro versus Shino. And after that was Naruto versus Neji. As Neji saw Naruto looking at him, but he paid him no mind. But Neji felt just the inch of fear creeping into him. But it doesn't matter, fate will allow him to win, as Sasuke would face off against Gaara in the end. We then had a time skip as Hinata woke up. As Kurenai entered her room and pointed to her side, Naruto was lying down there. As Kurenai told her that he hasn't left since he found out what happened, as she literally had to force him to go and get something to eat and go and sleep, because he just wanted to stay by her side. As Naruto then woke up, as Hinata told him that she was sorry, she was just so angry, and she tried to push him away and she was so sorry. As Naruto told her he was fine, as he did that stupid mistake back then, and he was glad that she forgave him, as the both of them became friends once again. But Naruto told her nothing about the finals or who he will be going up against, and she didn't ask. He just told that he passed and that was it. We then skip to Jiraiya and Sarutobi, as Sarutobi wanted Jiraiya to look over Naruto's seal, just to make sure everything was okay, and if possible, to place some restriction seal on him, just make sure he doesn't go overboard, to try to dampen this power of his. Kakashi also came to Naruto and told him that he would be taking Sasuke, but Naruto told him that he was fine, saying that he could train on his own. But he was called to the office. So yeah guys, so basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across to the place and check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. When you begin this new episode, Naruto's going to the hot spring, as he just had an interesting conversation with Sarutobi. As he thought that Sarutobi called him to talk about what he did for killing that Sound Ninja, but the man didn't say anything about that, which made Naruto quite curious. Naruto didn't feel like going to Gai for any training to refine his taijutsu because he was planning on killing Neji in the finals no matter what. So doing that, it just wouldn't feel right to him. So he refrained from seeing Gai or Lee or Tenten for a while, as he knew that they were a team and they were going to be angry. But his mind is already made up. He's gonna kill Neji no matter what. He hasn't even talked to Hinata about this. And he couldn't talk to her about this because if he did, she would convince him not to. And Hinata is just too soft. She wanted Neji to realize that they were family and stop this foolishness. But Naruto saw that there was no change in him. He's always going on about fate. Naruto knew that he hated Hinata, but he never knew that it was to this extent. And for what he did, Naruto just couldn't forgive him. And he was going to kill him no matter what. But he just had an interesting conversation with Sarutobi, who told him to go towards a hot spring, as he had, well, get a teacher for him to help him with his taijutsu. Seeing that Kakashi had gone with Sasuke, and Sakura wasn't competing in the finals, so there was nothing to worry about that. Sarutobi told him that he will know him when he sees him, so Naruto was quite curious. Who could this possibly be? The only person that he knew was a master in taijutsu was Gai. So who else, he thought? Must be someone top notch. As he was passing by, he heard giggling, as he wondered where was that coming from. He then turned his head as he started to walk around, as he noticed there was a man just scooting down there, looking through a hole. Yeah, he was looking through a hole through the female side. As Naruto realized what the man was doing, he had long, white hair and strange painting on his face to make it look like blood was coming from his eyes. As Naruto realized this man was peeping on the female side of the hot springs. Hey, if he's having a peep, why don't you go as well? Said Yamato. And why would I do that, Naruto said? Because you'd get to see some luscious, naked females. The thought did sound rather pleasing to Naruto. Hey, is she awake, he asked. No, she's sleeping, so she wouldn't give us any bull about this. What do you say? That man does seem to mind, so why don't you go and have a peep as well? Well, can't help to just look, right? No, it wouldn't, Yamato said. Now go on ahead and look, I want to see as well. As Naruto made his way over there. You know, if you're caught, these ladies would beat you to hell. Get out of here, brat, you're gonna let me get caught. Hey, I'm not gonna say anything, Naruto said. Just let me have a look as well. As the man then suddenly turned. What? Hey, come on, don't give me that look, Naruto said. You were doing it as well. Oh, I'm not giving you any look, brat, said the man. I'm just surprised. Kids like you mostly would have a certain talk about this. or even be against doing this. Well, not the way I was raised, Naruto said. As he then stooped down as well, as he started to look through the hole. Whoa, Yamato, you seen this? Of course I am, Yamato said. Look at that, as Naruto was seeing everything on the other side. But there was too much steam. Some of them were being covered up. Naruto made his way towards a tree that was leaning over to the hot spring. As he placed his hand on it, the man stood there and watched. Animate, Naruto said. Hey, can you flap your branches over in the hot spring? The man watched as he saw the tree just moving like the breeze was blowing rather wildly before the gusts of the tree blew away the steam, making Naruto look back through the hole. Now we're talking, Naruto said. The man behind Naruto just stood there. He heard about this technique from the old man, but he never thought that it was to this extent. As he looked at the tree that seemed to be alive, just bending to this kid's will, as he wondered how does he do it. The tree was blowing too hard as one of his branches then fall off to the ground, just a small one. The white-haired man stepped forward and stepped on the branch as it cracked. As Naruto saw the girls in the hot spring then turn. Hey, what was that? One of them said. One of them then started to march towards the edge, before she narrowed her eyes at the hole. As Naruto quickly moved his head. Hey, someone is peeping on us. Naruto quickly looked at the tree. Hey, hide me. The tree then opened up as Naruto rushed inside as it closed back. The white-haired man then heard footsteps. As all the girls came outside. Hey, let me in, brat. Pervert, said many voice behind him. As he turned. As Naruto could hear the chaos going on outside. It seems that the man was beaten within an inch of his life. But luckily, he was safe. Well, we did have a good look, said Yamato. Yeah, we did, Naruto said, with a smirk on his face, as that sight was rather arousing. He then tapped on the tree after hearing everything quiet up. The tree then opened up as Naruto stepped out, before he placed hand on the tree. Thanks for that, he said. The tree then went still, unmoving, as it went back to normal. As Naruto looked over the man. Hey, you dead? Naruto asked. Of course, that the man said, jumping up. Know that Naruto took a better look at the man. Hey, I know you. Of course you would. I am famous after all. You probably know me as my title. As the man then went into a pose, I am none other than Jiraiya, the legendary Toad Sannin from Mount Miyaboku. Now begin to bask in my glory. Yeah, I heard about you. But I heard that you were a pervert. What? You're wrong. I'm wrong? Then why were you beating on those girls? Because you're wrong, kid. I'm not just a pervert. I'm a super pervert, he said with a big smile. Whoa, you're really blunt, said Naruto. And you're one interested kid. After all, not many in this world can literally do what you just did. What did you do to that tree anyways? Oh, it's just an ability of mine, Naruto said. It helped me out. Naruto looked around. Hey, are you... Did the old man send you here, Naruto asked. The old man? Yes, the Hokage. Well, he did. And I must say, I was reluctant to train you at first. But after seeing your love of peeping as well, seeing that you're a little pervert yourself. Hey, I'm not a pervert, Naruto said. Then what did you just call that? Asked Jiraiya. Well, research, Naruto said. As Jiraiya smiled, what kind of research? Well, you know, for when I get older so I can know things. That is what I used to say to myself all the time, said Jiraiya. So are you gonna teach me? You know, I heard that you're strong. One of the legendary Sannins. Probably one of the strongest in the village right now. Are you? It seems like you're finally giving me the respect I deserve. Hell no, said Naruto. You literally just call yourself a super pervert. Why should I give you any respect? How about Pervy Sage? Jiraiya eyebrow twitch. What? Yeah, that's a fitting name. Or Erasenin. As Jiraiya eyebrow twitch even more. So, Erasenin, are you gonna help me refine my taijutsu? Because you know, I'm already quite good at it. Are you now? Come with me, Jiraiya said, as Naruto followed behind him. Moments later, they were out in a clearing, as no one was around. So tell me, I heard that you have no chakra. So, you know about that, huh? Well, considering that you're a student of the Hokage. Yeah, I don't have any chakra. So why don't you tap into the chakra inside of you? The one in that. As he pointed near the belly. What are you talking about? Naruto said. Come on, you said yourself, I'm a student of the old man. Of course I would know that you have the 9th seed inside of you. And I know that you know as well. So why don't you tap into that chakra? Or use it in any other way? And tell me something before you answer that. Have you spoken to the demon spirit inside of you? Naruto-kun. Kyuubi, you're awake? Yes. This man. He seems quite nosy. Yeah, you're telling me Naruto said. What should I tell him, Naruto asks? And do you think we can trust him? Well, I've always sensed good intentions from the old man coming towards you. So I don't think that he will send anyone to hurt you in any way. You can tell him, but not too much. Okay then, said Naruto. Yes. I've spoken to her, said Naruto. Oh, you have. So, Jiraiya then stopped. Wait, what do you mean by her? Oh, the Kyuubi-chan, she's a girl. She's a what? Jiraiya said. Yeah, she's a girl. I never knew that Bijou had gender. Well, she does. And Kyuubi-chan is nice. Jiraiya thought to himself, so you already made contact. I wonder if she's influencing him in any way. So tell me, why haven't you used her power? Well, if you know about that, then you know about Yamato as well, right? Yes, this so-called book of yours, Jiraiya said. What the hell, Yamato said. What's going on, Naruto asks. I don't know why. But when that guy just said this so-called book of yours, it just sounds so familiar. Like I've heard it before. You're probably getting crazy, said the Kyuubi. I'm not crazy, said Yamato. It just sounds so familiar. Maybe I'm getting crazy, he said to himself. You know, craziness can be fixed by sleeping with someone. Why don't you... Yamato was insane as she smacked him out with her tail. Back outside. So, you see, said Naruto, I never really thought about using chakra before. Because I never had none, that's what the old man told me. And after trying, I never really did anything. So I started to train, thinking that my physical strength can get me through things, and I can still become a ninja even though it's gonna be hard. But I want to never give up, Naruto said. But then shortly after, I found Yamato, and then I could do all these cool spells. And then we found out about the Kyuubi. And I never really thought about using jutsu after that, or really tapping into our power, Naruto said. Well, I'm curious, Jiraiya said, before reaching into his pouch. Hey, as he stepped forward and handed Naruto a piece of paper. What's this? This is an elemental paper. This is to test the affinity of one user. If it's split, it is wind. If it turns soggy, it is water. If it crinkles, it is lightning. If it crumbles away, it is earth. And if it burns, it is fire. I want you to channel the Kyuubi chakra through that and see what's going to happen. But won't it be the Kyuubi's power? I'm just curious, Jiraiya said. Okay then, said Naruto. Inside the mindscape. What is this, said the Kyuubi. Naruto-kun, what are you doing? Huh? I'm taking some of your power, Naruto said. Oh, sorry I didn't ask first. No, it's not that, she said. What is this? Tell me, do you feel any anger or rage? No, not really, Naruto said. Well, you just draw a tail worth of my yokai a minute ago. But for some reason, before it poured out of your body was cleansed. Cleansed, Naruto said. I can't explain it myself, but can you feel that, she said. Yeah, I can feel it circulating through me, but I don't feel any anger or rage, like you said I would feel if I take your power by force. Yeah, that's a strange thing, she said. Hey kid, you in there? Jiraiya asked, tapping Naruto in the forehead. Yeah, said Naruto. So what happened? I have no idea, Naruto said. We'll have to talk about this later, he said to the Kyuubi. Okay, Naruto-kun, she said. Just be careful in what you're doing. As she herself didn't understand what was going on. He draws so much of her power in at least a couple of seconds and it didn't even affect him one bit. As she wondered, what is this? It was rather strange. Back to the outside world, Naruto started to channel chakra to the paper. The paper then split in two, as one side of it got crinkled and then got burned. The other side got soggy and then crumbled away. Wait, that's all of them, said Naruto. As Jiraiya looked down at Naruto. But how, he said. This is just getting even more and more confusing. Wait, does that mean I have all of them, said Naruto. It looks that way, Jiraiya said, still confused. So what the hell was going on? Jiraiya then watches something strange happen. The piece of paper on the ground then burst into black smoke before coming into Naruto's hand and vanishing. Hey, what was that? Jiraiya asked. I have no idea, Naruto said. As he looked at his hand, that looked completely fine. Jiraiya stepped forward as he placed a hand on Naruto's head. Yeah, I can feel chakra circulating through you. But I thought you said you didn't have any. It's strange, Naruto said. The Kyuubi said that I just draw on your power, and it got filtered some way. But I don't understand, Naruto said. So how do you do those things back there? Jiraiya asked. Oh well, that's mana. Something I draw from the air around me. What's mana? Jiraiya said. Well, from what I read, mana is a spiritual life force engine that I can draw into my body. But it's different in some places. I don't know why though, said Naruto. It's stronger and weaker here and there. Jiraiya narrowed his eyes. Are you talking about Sage Chakra? He asked. Sage what? Naruto asked. As Jiraiya stood there just looking at Naruto. That explanation Naruto just gave was similar to Sage Chakra. But mana, he's never heard of something like that before. Sarutobi didn't have many details on Naruto, so he didn't send Jiraiya a lot, and now Jiraiya was just beyond curious to what this kid can actually do. And what was that a minute ago with the black smoke? Well, I want to see you try something. Seeing that you just used that chakra inside your body. So, send it towards a card. Now I want you to perform a summoning. A summoning? Yeah. How would you like to become the holder of the Toad Summoning Contract? Toad Summoning Contract? Yeah, I heard about that, said Naruto. You possess that. And also, what, said Jiraiya? Orochimaru, Naruto said. I heard about that. So you fought him in the Forest of Death, before he knocked you out. Yeah, Naruto said. As you remember, he told Sarutobi that lie. He was just too strong for me to defeat. Don't worry. Right now you're still just a kid. He's a son after all, just like me. As Naruto clenched his fists. So how about I make you stronger, Jiraiya said. Sure thing, Naruto said. Now, Jiraiya then pulled a large scroll off his back, as he placed it on the ground. As Naruto looked at it, as Jiraiya opened it up. What's this? Is this a Toad Summoning Contract? Right you are, Jiraiya said. Now I need you to write your name there in blood. Naruto bit his finger, but before he write his name, Minato Namikaze? As in the fourth Hokage Minato Namikaze? Yeah, Jiraiya said. He was one of my students. Wait, you trained a Hokage? Naruto said. Whoa, that's pretty awesome. For a perverted man, seems like you are pretty strong after all. As Jiraiya just chuckled. I already told you, kid. I'm a super pervert, and stop getting it wrong. Now go ahead and sign your name. Fine, said Naruto. As he signed his name, Jiraiya then sealed back up the scroll. What now? Alright, I want you to do these set of hand signs before channeling your chakra and letting out in a burst right on the ground right here. As Jiraiya then showed Naruto the hand signs, hey wait, slow down, Naruto said. I've never really done something like this before. Oh, I forgot, Jiraiya said, as he showed Naruto the hand signs much slower. As Jiraiya then started to back away. Hey, why are you going so far? Just in case, Jiraiya said, as he knew that, nah, this kid can't summon Gamabunta. But if it's a small possibility, he wouldn't like to be near because Gamabunta is rather pissed at him for what he did the last time. As Naruto bit his thumb and went through hand sign. Now let's try this. Summoning Jutsu, he says. He slammed his hand on the ground as a larger than average seal and radiance spread out all around. Jiraiya was confused until a massive poof appeared. But it wasn't just one. Jiraiya was confused because the smoke was too large. What the hell did the kid do, he wondered. As Jiraiya waited until the smoke cleared away. Jiraiya's eyes nearly fell out of their sockets when he saw what was there. Because standing there was none other than the two elder toads, Ma and Pa. But not to mention Gamahiro, Gamabunta, and his son Gamakichi on top of Gamahiro's head, and Gamatatsu as well. And also not to mention the great elder sage Toad, who was sitting on the ground quite confused, because in the decades no one has been able to summon him. Jiraiya had to step forward, as he was also confused as hell. Huh? Jiraiya boy. Did he do this? Said Ma. She looked around. She then noticed a boy in front of her. Who are you? She said. As Pa looked around. Jiraiya, Where are you, Gamabunta asked. And what's going on? Wait, Elder Sage, you're here as well? Said Pa as he looked at the old toad that was just sitting there on the ground, confused. Why and how did Jiraiya do this? Meanwhile, what is this? Said Naruto, as suddenly felt a burst of power just washing through his body. Jiraiya then appeared. Jiraiya, what is going on? Said Gamabunta. Yes, what is going on? Said Gamahiro as he looked around, as he noticed that the great Elder Sage was here as well. Well, you see about that, as Jiraiya looked down at Naruto, but then the ground started to shake, making all of those focus. The great Elder Sage looked over at Naruto, as a strange golden aura came over Naruto's body, before everything was sucked inside of him, before he collapsed down to his knees, as he didn't know what this rush of power was, but it felt incredible. As Naruto looked back up at Jiraiya, "Whoa, what is this?" he said, as he saw Jiraiya step back. "It can't be," said Fukazaku, as he stepped forward. How is that possible?" he said, as Shima stepped forward as well, as she rubbed the back of her head. "Am I seeing things?" as she looked over at Pa. "If you are, then I am as well," said Pa. "What is going on here?" said Gamabunta. "And how is this brat able to do that?" as Gamabunta lowered his head to look down at Naruto. "Hey, what's going on? Why is everyone looking at me so strange?" to ask, as they were all just staring at him. "It seems that this boy is special. Special indeed," the great Elder Toad said, as all of them looked towards him. "Hey, what's going on?" Naruto asked. Looking to the stream, Jiraiya said. Naruto made his way over, as he looked at his face. His eyes were different now. They had black bars in them, with a strange orange color at the top, as he did not understand what this was. "Hey, what did you guys do to me?" Naruto asked. But it didn't feel bad at all. It felt like a rush of power. How? How did you activate Sage Mode?" Jiraiya said, as he looked at Naruto. "Sage Mode? What's that?" As Jiraiya's sweat dropped. "You don't even know what it is. And yet you were able to activate it to..." As he looked at Ma and Pa. "What's going on?" he asked. "We should be the one asking you that," said Ma, as she looked at Jiraiya. "And how did you summon all of us here?" "It wasn't me," Jiraiya said, "it was him." The great Elder Toad Sage looked at Naruto. "Interesting indeed," he said, as he didn't know why, but he felt this strange feeling from this boy. It was different, rather strange, as he remembered what Jiraiya told him a couple years ago. So this is that boy that the other Toad Summoner had adopted, that seemed to just pop out from nowhere. But to be able to master Sage Mode in seconds like this, what exactly is he? The Elder Toad Sage felt it. He has only felt something strange like this once before, and that was when he met none other than the Sage of Six Paths himself, Hagoromo, all those years ago. But now looking at this boy, he felt some strange, restraining power inside of him, and it frightened the Elder Toad. Yes, it scared him. It was strange, indeed, very strange. "Jiraiya boy," the Elder Toad said, "you should return to Mount Miyaboku soon. We shall talk. For now, I bid you farewell." And with that, he poofed away. As Ma and Pa looked at Jiraiya. "I'll explain later," he said. As Jiraiya knew that Sarutobi didn't tell Naruto anything yet, so he wasn't going to say anything. The both of them nodded, as they started to poof away. As Pa looked at Naruto one last time. Indeed, that was very strange. Jiraiya will have to come and explain and talk to them what the hell is going on. Once all of them were gone, Naruto sighed. "So I guess they didn't like me, huh?" "It's nothing like that," Jiraiya said. "Well, they didn't seem too happy because of this thing," Naruto said, pointing at his face. "No, it's strange," Jiraiya said. "You see, what you're using right now is called Sage Mode. Similar to what you speak of mana, Sage Energy is something that you draw upon nature from. But I don't know how you were able to do it this quickly. It's confusing, because not even I, who are trained for all these years, is able to activate Sage Mode on my own." Well, that's strange," Naruto said, Naruto-kun. Yes? I think I have an idea what is going on. What is it, Naruto asks. Jiraiya saw Naruto went blank for a minute, until he clapped his hand in front of Naruto's face. You okay, kid? Oh, yeah, the Kyuubi thinks she has an idea what is going on. You see, mana that I draw upon is from the nature as well. But my whole life I've been able to draw upon mana. Really easy. It's really hard for me to get exhausted because I can use the mana to boost my physical strength and my stamina back to where it was. Once in an era where I can draw upon a lot of mana. But if the era is dry, it's just hard for me to draw upon it, but it will take a while, but I can. So this sage mode that you speak of, the moment I saw those toads, I felt it. It felt like the energy was coming from their body. Can it be that I was drawing upon their mana to give me this sage mode that you call it? It's still very confusing, Jiraiya said, seeing that I've never seen someone able to do something like this before. I guess I'm just awesome that way, Naruto said. Indeed you are, Jiraiya said. The finals are going to begin in a month, right? I need you to hold off for a week. I'm gonna be gone in a week, but I'm gonna return in after that to help you with your taijutsu training and try to figure this thing out. Oh, okay, said Naruto. You can go ahead and turn the sage mode off now. Turn it off, said Naruto. Judging by your tone, I guess you don't know how to do that. I have no clue, Naruto said. Jiraiya sighs, he stepped forward. I guess you should stop channeling your mana to what you call it. If it's anything like sage energy. Because sage energy eventually run out of your body. As Naruto looked at him rather confused. I don't know how to stop channeling mana. Ever since I was younger, the moment I met Yamato, it started happening. Jiraiya sighed, well then. You just have to wait until sage energy run out. And when's that gonna happen, Naruto asked. I have no idea, Jiraiya said. But, before that, come at me, Jiraiya said. I want to see how strong you exactly are. So you want to fight me, Naruto asks. You know, it's not my fault if you get hurt. Please, even with that, you're still just a little brat. I would kick your ass any day. Is that so, said Naruto. Alright then, don't blame me if you get hurt. Alright brat, I won't. So what do you say you come at me? Let me see how strong you are. Try and hit me. As Naruto went into a battle stance. Alright, begin, Jiraiya said. Naruto narrowed his eyes for a few seconds. This sage mode, whatever Jiraiya called it, was pretty different from what he felt before. His body felt full of energy and life even more, like he had sucked so much mana. Naruto shot off the ground like a bullet. He's fast, Jiraiya thought. As Naruto came towards him, Jiraiya extended his hand to punch Naruto, but Naruto vanished, like he was never there. As he appeared behind Jiraiya and swung a kick, Jiraiya had to jump away, as Naruto blurred away once again. Jiraiya was confused, the kid was moving beyond his eyesight. No, this was surely impossible. He then had to jump away as Naruto came out of the sky like a bullet, breaking the ground. Jiraiya had to jump away from the entire section. The ground was literally rooted up. As an image flashed in Jiraiya's mind, this was the same as when Tsunade had fired off a full fist into the ground. No, this was just beyond impossible. Yet again the thought came to his mind, what exactly was this kid? He let his mind wander for too long. The next thing he knew, he felt a breeze behind him as he turned. The moment Jiraiya turned, he saw something that scared him. Yes, it actually scared him. Naruto's fist was coming towards him, but it wasn't a fist that was scaring him. It was the power that he was feeling. As Naruto's eyes, they weren't sage mode anymore alone. Because around it now had a small black tint that was trying to cover up the orange. Naruto stopped his fist right in front of Jiraiya's face, as Jiraiya here was blown back. Hey, you aren't taking me serious, Naruto said. And besides, I wouldn't want to hurt you when you're lost in your thoughts. Oh, sorry about that, Jiraiya said. What happened, Naruto said. Oh, it's nothing, Jiraiya said. As he shook himself out of his thoughts, well look, it seems like your sage mode has finally run out. It's gone? As Naruto rushed over to the water and checked. Yes, it was gone indeed. Try to do it again, Jiraiya said. What? I just did it, Naruto said. And you want me to go and get it back? Yeah, just try. Well, I guess I can. Well, let's see. When the toads arrived, I just felt this different energy that I never felt before. Let's see if I can find the difference between hate and mana. As Naruto closed his eyes, Jiraiya watched in fascination. as he saw a strange golden glow appear on Naruto's body before it was sucked inside of him once again. As Naruto opened back his eyes and the Jiraiya shock again it appeared, he entered Sage mode. How? Just literally how was Kid able to do this? This was just beyond impossible and surprise. Now Jiraiya had to go toward the Toad. He had to talk to them. And he had to talk to Sarutobi as well. This kid need to know about where he's truly from. Well, they didn't know. But about what happened that night, because they need to talk about some detail. And if he doesn't have all the information, it will be hard for them to communicate well. Well then, Jiraiya said as he placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. I'll be back in a week. And when I return, I'll help you to refine your taijutsu. But for now, just stay put, okay? Will do, Naruto said. As Jiraiya then headed off with a wave. It doesn't seem that bad, said Naruto. It seems like you surprised him quite a lot, said Yamato. Seems like I did, said Naruto. He's probably gonna go to get some answers. Hey Kaido, what do you think? The same thing, she said. I'm surprised that you was able to do something like that after I heard what he said about it. Sage NJ, for you to just get it in seconds. You are always special, but to this extent. I'm probably just awesome that way, Naruto said. Indeed you are, she said with a smile. Hey, why don't you ever compliment me like that, said Yamato. Well, because Naruto is special and you're nothing but a book. Hey, what are you talking about, Yamato said. All the spells that he used, they are from my pages, so of course I'm special as well. Well, not really, Naruto said. What? Said Yamato. Well, recently, Naruto held out his hand as a strange, blue orb then formed that went on top of his index finger before he flicked it up in the air as he then caught it back. I've been able to use spells without even calling upon you. It's strange and new to me, Naruto said. So you're saying that I'm worthless, said Yamato. Oh, no, Naruto said. I'm just saying different things are happening. Another word for I'm worthless, Yamato said. You bastard. Why don't you come here and say that to my face? Naruto sighed. There is no use in talking to you when you're like this. Because you know I'll kick your ass, said Yamato. Please, like if you could beat me, said Naruto. So why don't you come in here and say that? Boys, said the Kyuubi. The both of you are getting too hostile towards each other right now. I suggest the both of you calm down. Be quiet, bitch, said Yamato. As he then stopped. As Naruto started to chuckle. You're in for it now. As Naruto made his way through the streets, hearing screams in his head, which he kinda blocked out, of the Kyuubi trying to kill Yamato. As Naruto walked with a small smile on his face. At least things were calm right now and he didn't feel any of that undesirable rage to kill. Yes, he preferred things his way, even though he knew that when it comes to the time for the finals, he doubted that he'll be able to hold himself back. He shook his head and just continued his walk. At the Hokage's tower. You're joking, right? Said Sarutobi. Unfortunately, not. As Jiraiya was sitting down in a chair. As Sarutobi sighed. How can this be? Well, I decided to make him sign the Toad Summoning contract. And after what I told you, but how? Not even you were able to do something like that. Yeah, that's the thing about it. But Sage Mode, Jiraiya? Not even you can do it on your own. Yeah, I know that, Jiraiya said. But the kid was able to do it. Just by gathering energy around him. I did not mistake it was Sage Mode. But I need to get back to Mount Miyamoku. It seems that the Toad want to have a long talk with me. And I also need to find out what the hell is going on as well. And we need to talk to the kid. I mean really talk to him and tell him everything. But Jiraiya, I might be giving him a broad scale here. But the kid was able to catch me off guard. What? Yes, I want to see how strong he was. And I didn't know how, but his speed was moving beyond my vision. Is that even possible? I know that Naruto is strong, but I'm not lying, Jiraiya said. As Sarutobi sighed, what the hell is really going on? There's just one thing after another. And yet they still don't know if Naruto was fully responsible, even though he knew. But his heart just was telling him not to believe it, that Naruto was responsible for that thing coming out of that vortex, that monster. Maybe if we tell him everything, he would tell us. What the hell happened that day? What happened with Orochimaru? And what happened with that monster? Alright, do what you have to do. We will inform him after tuning exams. If what you say about his skills already is true, I have no doubt that he'll be able to make tuning. But I fear the day when the exam is going to start. Why is that? Remember I told you we had to hold him back. At least 20 of my Ondos. Yeah, because of what that ninja kid did to his best friend. Yeah. Naruto is going to be fighting Neji in the finals. And I fear that something's going to happen. And he's going to slip and lose control once again. But that's the weird thing, it's not from the Kyuubi. Yeah, I already pick up on that, said Sarutobi. But if it's not, then what kind of power is he harboring inside of him? Meanwhile, out of the elemental nations, did you find a way to get me there yet? I need to see him now. Things are moving further than I expected. I told you, it is hard for me to go there. And not having what that woman used, it is extremely difficult. I would watch your tone to the way you say woman, and have more respect in your tone. Don't make me laugh. You know you should be at your knees begging me right now. It's that dark, raspy voice. After all, I am helping you. You're helping me because you want to live. And if you don't help me, you're going to die anyways. Or do you want to be used like a lap dog? The dark voice growled at her. Now you watch your tone. I am no one's lap dog. Well then, if you don't help me find him, you are going to be someone's lap dog. And they're going to use you every single day. Until you're nothing but a shriveled up dog. So I suggest you hurry up and find him. The thing growled, but it didn't say anything else. As the person simply walked off with a sigh. Before coming out in a clearing. You just stay where you are. I will find you. You will return home. And you will know who you are truly. To stop all of this, the person said. Back at the elemental nations, Sasuke was huffing and puffing. As he looked over at Kakashi. Kakashi gave him an eye smile. Well, I think that is enough for today. No, Sasuke said. I need to get stronger. Next time. So I'll be able to do something. What are you talking about, said Kakashi? I'm not done yet, Sasuke said as he went through hand sign. But Kakashi grabbed his hand. Sasuke, I don't want you to go and kill yourself by overdoing it. So, let's call it a day, okay? We still have a lot more time for you to get stronger. Sasuke shrugged. As he sighed. He needed to get stronger. Because right now he wasn't going anywhere. And from seeing Naruto in the exam, he really saw how weaker than Naruto he was. Naruto was completely able to outclass that sound guy like he was nothing. Move around him like he was absolute trash. And yet still, he is still at this level and not getting any stronger. What's wrong with him? And the brutality that Naruto showed, that is what he needs to has. Even though he was surprised that Naruto would kill someone that brutal way. But that is what he needs to has for when you face off against him to kill him. And you won't let Naruto be above him for any longer. He will get stronger no matter what. Time skip. A week later, Naruto is currently sitting on top of the Hokage's monument. As a cool breeze was just brushing through his hair, Purvis says that he will be back in a week. But he hasn't come back yet, as Naruto figured that he'll have to work on his own training. Well, he already knew for a fact that he could defeat Neji. Not to mention with this new thing that he got, Sage Mode. As he's been twinkering with it a lot over the past week. The thing boosts his physical strength immensely. He still didn't know any hand signs, but he didn't need any of those. Because he didn't need any of the basic powers. He already had all of the abilities he needed to know. And not to mention, the more stronger you get, the more spells come in Yamato's book. So he doesn't have to worry about anything. He still had his mind set to kill Neji no matter what. I thought I would find you here, said a voice. As Naruto knew exactly who was behind him. After hearing that voice, I know that you're avoiding me, the voice said. But Naruto did not turn around. I remember what you said in the exam, and you must not do it. As Naruto said nothing, the person stepped forward. It was none other than Tenten. This is your favorite place to go when you're always thinking or always sad. Remember you told me that a long time ago, she said. As Naruto sighed, I was trying to avoid this. I know, because you're planning on killing Neji in the finals, Naruto, and I have no doubt that you cannot, because you can. I've seen how strong you are. Despite how strong Neji is, the abilities that you have and the things that you can do, he doesn't stand a chance, but he thinks that he can win. Even though I told him that he will die if he go up against you. But he's stuck with his fate, and doesn't matter what anyone say to him, he thinks that he can defeat you. And that will be his downfall, but I beg you not to. Why shouldn't I, Naruto said. After what he done, he deserved to die. Think about what you're gonna do. If you kill him, Hinata will be angry at you. Many people will be angry. He is a prodigy of the Hyuga clan after all, and not to mention he's your Konoha shinobi. That guy from the zone, he was not from our village, and he was being a jackass towards you and Hinata. So most people didn't really care that you killed him, even though you did it in such a brutal way. But Neji is a different matter completely. He's your comrade, a Konoha shinobi. I'm begging her to do not kill him, she said. I don't know how to, Naruto said. What do you mean, she asked. I know that Hinata will be angry. I know that many people will be angry. But no matter what I say to myself, I can't stop it, Naruto said, as he turned towards her. It's just too much for me to handle right now. I just can't. What are you talking about, she said. Just hearing you speak his name, it makes me so angry to the point where I don't even understand anymore why I'm so angry. I know what he did, but it's just too much for me to control. What are you saying, she said to him. I can't control it anymore. When I see his face, I won't be able to control myself. As Tenten looked at him, I'm sorry, Tenten, said Naruto. As he jumped off the monument, Tenten quickly rushed over as she cried out his name, but she didn't saw him. As the rock formation was just leading him down, like a platform going straight down. As she sighed in relief, as she didn't quite understand what he was talking about. As Naruto landed down to the ground, Naruto considered Kyubey. I know that it's hard, but that girl is right, you have to find a way to not kill him. You were already going to be depressed when that girl was not talking to you. And if you do this now, she's going to be angry as well. And many other people. And as much as I don't care about this comradeship, that he's a Konoha shinobi as well, he is. And I don't want people to be even more angry at you. I just want you to be okay, she said. I know, said Naruto. And I'm grateful for that. But as I said, this rage when I feel when I just look at him, it's just too much. When I hear his name, I don't know if I'll be able to control myself. As Naruto sighed, he just walked off. Meanwhile, as Jiraiya was coming back to Konoha, he had a rather, conflicted look on his face because of what he just heard. Flashback. A couple days ago, Jiraiya was standing in front of the Great Elder Toad, as Ma and Pa were on each side of him, left and right. The Elder Toad looked rather serious. Jiraiya boy, he said. As Jiraiya looked at the Elder Toad, once seeing that boy, I knew that something was strange about him. For him to be able to perform Sage Mode like that, he's quite special indeed. That he is, Jiraiya said. But I believe he's something else entirely. What do you mean, Jiraiya asked. Once I got back, I had a vision. Jiraiya was surprised. But you hardly have those in a... Yes, I know. But this one was clearer than most. I saw you and many other dead. What? Yes, you were the first one that I saw. Your head was severed from your neck. I could see the vision clear as day. And all around you were blood and bodies everywhere. This was all around. As far as the eye could see, the ground was littered with bodies. But the thing about this vision was strange. There was two sides of it. In another part, there was a peaceful world with nothing out of the ordinary. But in the other side, these visions came back to back after one another, making me think that there are two ways that this can go about. What happened in the Dark One, Jiraiya asked. I couldn't see clearly who it was, but I saw one man. But that was not what was destroying the world. It was what was below him. These things I cannot even comprehend. Monsters. Things that were coming out of the earth itself. Beings that I had never seen before. On all of my years living on this earth. Ripping people apart. It was a slaughter. No one stood a chance. But one man stood on top of all of this, just flying in the air, looking down at all the destruction, with a wicked smile on his face. As Jiraiya had a terrible, sinking feeling. Do you think it's him, Jiraiya asks. There is no coincidence. Right after I met this boy, I had this vision. I don't know what to tell you, Jiraiya boy, but that is what I saw. As Jiraiya gulped, this is just becoming more and more dangerous. End of a flashback. Jiraiya was hopping back to Konoha, as he still couldn't understand what was that vision about. As he talked to the Toad some more, they had no idea how Naruto was able to get Sage Mode, as no one could just explain it like that, because they had no clue. And now hearing about this vision. As Jiraiya sighed, he had to tell Sarutobi about this, as it was getting more and more dangerous. As the great elder Toad told him about this peaceful world. Something he never thought he would hear from a Toad. Because all of his time, he's been trying to find a way to get peace. But to hear that there was a world where peace was. How would he achieve it? But the Toad told him that he didn't know. But the destiny lies in that boy and his decisions. As he would have to keep a good eye on Naruto and talk to Sarutobi about this, because this is just getting more dangerous by the second. As he made his way back to Konoha. Later that night, Naruto was sleeping, but he was having a nightmare. As Naruto was currently walking on the road. He didn't know exactly where he was, if he was in the village or not, as he was searching for something but he didn't know what it was. As he heard someone cried out his name, he rushed forward as he saw nothing. It was an endless stream of darkness. Come to me, he heard a voice said. As he made his way towards a smoothing voice, it just sounded so soothing and nice. As he made his way towards it, no, don't do it, said another voice. As he saw a woman, she was wearing a hood, but he could see strands of yellow hair coming out of it. Remember, my boy, I will always love you, she said. Naruto jumped out of bed, cold sweat all over his body, as he wondered what the hell was that. As he felt a stinging sensation right into his chest, he then pulled down his shirt. He saw strange black chains. They were like they were tattooed into his skin. As he saw one of them were breaking, but he saw it was going back together. Like him waking up, changed it, stopping it from breaking. As the chain just vanished back into his skin like it was never there. As he wondered what the hell was that. But guys, if you subscribe right here, for what's the next part, if you don't know what to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notifications to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace.